Welcome to Those Flipping Guys. If you're here for the first time, you might have a question. What are these sessions all about? Real estate. Being taught by those flipping guys, two experts that are in the business and successful at it. You will have an opportunity to not only engage, but get involved and talk to them. Even if you have questions, hold the questions to the end and then bring them out and you get your questions asked. This is why we love doing these webinars, because it's interactive. We get to meet you, you get to meet us, everything comes together.
Somebody makes $25,000. Is that a bad deal?
This is Gene.
I'm glad we put it for the higher price.
This is Angelo. They have been flipping homes since 2001 and have flipped over 3,000 properties. They buy houses for cash.
All done, baby.
No scripts here, no setup scene, just real guys making real deals.
We're nice guys.
No matter what your ultimate lifestyle looks like, you have to find a way to fund it.
Who wants to make some moolah?
So if you're ready to earn money, balance your life, and live your dreams, meet those flipping guys.
All right, guys, I'm glad that we're back. Today, our topic is about how to price a property with renovation costs. And the first question I have for you guys is, what are the best financing sources out there?
Cash. You know, having a rich parent with a lot of money is one of the best ways to get started. But unless you're richy rich or come from a really wealthy family, you've got to seek alternative sources. And one of the best sources out there is private lending or hard money lending. And these guys, all you got to do is Google hard money lender, private equity funding, and you'll be able to find hard money lenders left and right. There's people out there begging to give you their money right now. It's amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap. You know, it's not like 4 and 5% money. It's, 12, 13, 14, 15% interest rates plus a few points to borrow the money. But I tell you what, it's expensive, but it's invaluable, and it's way cheaper than a partner.
Next question I have is, what is hard money or private financing? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, as far as it goes, as far as I consider it, private money or hard money, it's the same thing. It's just private financing is a lot nicer way of saying hard money, because both of them are very expensive. But usually it's a private guy or private person that's attained some kind of wealth, understands the real estate market, and they fund their own money. Now, there's also companies that have pooled other people's resources and fund it and have lines of credits themselves. But basically, it's a pretty simple process, and it's based upon the equity of the property and sometimes coupled with the credit score of the person that's borrowing it. But the majority of the time, it's like 90% equity based. So if you buy a house that's worth $200,000 fixed up and you're buying it for $140,000, they may lend you $140,000. They may lend you 80% or 70% of the $140,000. Sometimes they'll even use a formula where they'll lend up to 80% of the renovation of the whole property after it's been renovated, but they'll lend you out the money as you need it for renovations. There's a whole slew of people and companies out there that are willing to finance you and lend you money on these investment properties. You just have to get a little creative. And in the very beginning, if you're just breaking in, my recommendation is pay those people way on time. Don't argue with them. Pay them early. They don't want to have to track you down and chase you down. And then as you build your reputation, you build your credibility with them. They'll give you higher loans to value. They'll be able to give you better interest rates. And man, they'll be able to give you answers even faster than maybe a week or 2 weeks that some people take, because you'll build that track record of paying on time or paying early. And listen, if you're really trying to get in with somebody, Angelo, go ahead and tell them your trick.
What we always do when we're working with a new lender, although we don't work with new lenders very often because we got this great track record with the ones we use, is at closing, I always give them a payment or 2 payments for the next couple months. So, it's funny. It's such a small gesture, but the look on their faces when they get their payments up front is, it's hysterical, because it's not, they just lent you a couple $100,000 and you gave them a $2,000 check. It hardly seems like you're doing them the favor, but they sure feel like you are. So, pay early, give good, and treat people like you'd want to be treated if it was your money, because it's private money. It's their money. But to answer your question directly, Bert, there really isn't a difference between private money and hard money. It's the same. And it's just the way we talk in our industry. But mainly, it's most of the time it's private money. It's just a private guy, and when it's not, it's hard money, and it's usually a bank. But both terms are pretty synonymous.
I have a question. In the beginning, we talked about the best sources, and you both mentioned that it's family and friends. And if you're starting out, some people are afraid to ask. What do you recommend? To ask your family and friends to see who believes in you? I mean, how do you go about that?
Personally, I come from a very small family, so I never had anybody that I could ask for money. I always like to do things on my own. But you know how you are. You know your track record in your family. If you're somebody that always has done what you said you were going to do, if you've taken other debts from family members before and paid them back, then yeah, maybe hit them up. I mean, because they can participate in your new success and your newfound business. Of course, if you don't have a track record, you may not want to turn to family and friends, especially if you haven't paid them back in the past. So that's definitely a good way, man. But I've seen people, hey, I've got a great opportunity. I need $70,000. If you're looking to lend, $70,000, I'll pay you 10%. They post it right there on Facebook or Instagram or something else. Me, it's a little ballsy, but I think it's a little ballsy. But man, if people raise their hands, I mean, everybody. Listen, I don't care who you are. Okay, you could be the richest person on this planet, and you know what you're looking for? Your next deal. Okay, and if you're a small-time guy, you barely have any money. You know what you're looking for? Your next deal. You're looking for a way to grow your money at a high interest rate with as little risk as possible. And lending money is a tremendous way for somebody to get a nice return on investment.
And let's not forget the money's secure. I mean, if you're doing it right and you're buying the property right, you're buying it for 60, 70, 80 cents on the dollar, whatever it is. They're going to put a mortgage on the property. It's protected. So you're not just asking for, money that's going to go poof into the air. Obviously, you don't want to be in a position where one of your family members is foreclosing you. However, and the way things work, it's secure, and that's what it is.
Where do you find these hard money lenders?
Two things. I mean, gosh, guys, this is the best time ever in the history of the world to start a business, to do real estate investing, to really do anything. I mean, with the internet, the way that it is, I mean, there's just opportunity everywhere. There's customers there, there's sellers there, there's lenders there, there's people, handymen there. I mean, the internet is just an amazing place. And so one of the first things I would do is I'd Google, if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, I would look up private lenders in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you'd find a private lender, in South Florida, hard money lenders. Now, beyond that, I would also go to local real estate investing network clubs. And that way I would find those. I would Google, Raleigh real estate investor clubs and find those. I would call the president of those clubs if I couldn't be there. Like sometimes when we're breaking into another market and we can't go to those investor club meetings, then I'll call the president or members of the association, or sometimes there'll be advertisers or sponsors of those clubs, and I'll look them up and I'll find out who the hard money lenders are. And we'll reach out to them and find out, hey, what are your criteria? What are you looking for? And every little area has their own little, their little nuances or what they're looking for, their way to work. But man, the internet and networking meetings is definitely the best way to find hard money lenders.
This is an ask world, man. If you don't ask, you're never going to find out. And man, Gene and I started this business when there wasn't any internet. We used to look for properties on maps. Remember that, Gene? Maps?
What do you mean?
Yeah, the world's at your fingertips right now.
Angelo, you're much older than me. What do you mean?
Investor clubs. You mentioned that. I mean, you guys happen to have one. Where is it located, and how often do you guys have it?
Well, thanks for asking, Bert. We're down here in South Florida. We're in a suburb of Fort Lauderdale called Weston, and it's a really nice neighborhood. It's a really nice area. A lot of business people. Some high income net worth folks around here. Some nice businesses. Kind of out west of Broward County, and we have our own real estate investor club meeting. It's called Weston Rain, Weston's Real Estate Investors Network, Weston Rain, and we have a meeting the last Wednesday of every month, except for December. It's the last Wednesday of every month. It's at lunch. It's at noon. It's a lunchtime meeting. It's for business professionals that are in the real estate business, investment business, or serve that industry, and they come out. It's a free meeting. And everybody gets to speak for 30 or 60 seconds and promote themselves and give their elevator commercial, and deals are done there. So right now we're holding it at a restaurant called Prime Time, and it's a great restaurant. They cut us a nice deal, or it's $17, which includes a nice lunch, a drink, and even includes the gratuity. We just ask that you support that venue. But join us the last Wednesday of every month. We're always there. Angelo and I are always there. And we meet and we talk and we do deals, and it's a great way to break into the industry if you're local to South Florida.
Back to your hard money lender information. What is the cost to work with a hard money lender?
Well, I mean, up front, there's no cost, but most hard money lenders charge a couple points, 2 to 3 points, and the interest is usually anywhere from 12 to 15%. So if you're buying a $100,000 house at closing, your points are, call it 2 to 3 G's, and your payment would be somewhere in the avenue between $1,000 and $1,250 a month, depending on the interest rate, really.
And those points kind of average depending on the hard money lender or your credit, or how does that work?
Oh yeah. I mean, it all depends upon the each private lender. They have their own criteria. A lot of it is based upon the equity in the property, if the lender feels comfortable with you. Sometimes they do pull your credit, and even if you have bad credit, they'll still lend you usually based upon the equity in the property, but they might charge an extra point because you're a little riskier, or 2 points, or a higher interest rate, or they might ask you to escrow for insurance or taxes in advance. But to say every hard money lender, every private lender asks for this, I can't say any one person does it exactly the same. There's private lenders out there that they actually get full-fledged appraisals. There's another hard money lender that asks for an inspection deposit. It's called an inspection deposit up front. It's only a couple $100, but that way they know that if they commit to doing your deal, that you're going to go with them. They know that you're serious. You're not just calling 10 people up and seeing who does it. These guys are usually pretty affluent people, and they just want to walk out and get a paycheck on the first of the month, and open their mailbox and get 15, 20, 30 checks from all the deals that they have money lent on.
That's great information. Well, I want to say we're a little bit into financing rental properties. How do we do that?
Well, listen, in this business, credit's king. If you have a good job, that's good too. So if you can get regular financing on a property, like if you have a decent credit score and you have income other than in an actual job other than real estate investing, then you're in the driver's seat, because you can get regular financing, and the interest rates right now are super, super low. And you could, if you can get an interest rate of 4 and 5% on a rental property, that would be amazing. Now, if you can't get regular financing, it's okay. They're lending investors again. We just got done refinancing a bunch of our houses, and we plan on refinancing some more. And there's some programs out there for landlords at 5.5%, which 5.5% money is super cheap. So if you can hold these things long term for rental, these rental properties long term, you need that kind of financing.
Yeah. So basically, just so you know how we buy deals, we'll buy them because most of the deals we buy, they need renovations, they need fixing up. So the deals that we buy them with hard money, we fix them up, we get them rented, we get them stabilized, and then the game plan is to go in and get them refinanced, in 6 months or a year later. So they've got to be able to carry at hard money rates, or you have to be able to still have equity in it. And then these lenders, they're going to lend you at 50 to 75% of the new appraised value after it's been stabilized, after it's been renovated.
And can you ever buy an investment property owner financing?
Bert, that's a great suggestion. And yes, there's a ton of ways to buy properties, and buying properties with owner financing is a great way to buy properties. Another way to do it is buying it what's called subject to the mortgage. That means that you buy the property and you keep the mortgage in place that the prior owner has. There's some issues. That's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but that's a way to buy properties without really your own money, or without using a hard money lender. Also, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with if you got a good job, you got good credit, and going and just buying a property with bank financing. You know, you may not have the equity in it like you would if you bought a fixer-upper, but it doesn't matter. As long as you're going to get a positive cash flow after paying your mortgage, your taxes, your maintenance, maybe a property manager, you know, then that's fine. That's a fine way just to jump into a turnkey property. I mean, we sell turnkey investment properties all day long. So a lot of times we'll go in as a strategy. We'll go in, we'll rent it, we'll buy a dilapidated property, we'll renovate it, we'll get it rented out, and then we'll turn around and we'll sell it to somebody with regular bank financing. And they'll pay it at, you know, top dollar for it, but they don't care because they didn't have to do any of the real hard work. They didn't have to find it when it was dilapidated. They didn't have to get the renovation in. They didn't have to sit vacant. And I mean, from day one, they're getting income. And that's a beautiful model itself.
All right, and the last question I have for you today is, how do you build your cash?
Angelo, what kind of world is it?
It's a turtle world, man. You build your cash slowly, just slowly. It's nothing's quick. Nothing's quick. Nothing's get rich quick. And you just got to be diligent about saving it and moving on to the next deal. You know, Gene and I will make a big pop on a deal, and we'll put that money in another deal. And eventually, we get to the point where we're owning these things free and clear. And you know, it's a turtle world, man. It's a turtle's world. You'll hear us say that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Turtles may be slow, but man, they got a real tough shell and they have longevity, and that's what you guys want. You know, it's not a matter of just making $1 million. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It'd be nice to make $1 million, but listen, real estate, it's a slow burn. Okay, you buy a property, somebody else pays it off, which is beautiful. You buy a property, somebody else pays it off. You add to your portfolio. And it's a nice slow burn. And you know what happens? What happens, Ange?
Time happens. Always happens.
Time always happens, man. In 5 years, 10 years, 15 years goes in a blink, man. And before you know it, you're sitting on a portfolio of properties that are paid off, and you got nothing but cash flow every month. And that's where you want to be. And when you have no debt and you have cash flow, you know, that's retirement in my book.
All right, thank you guys. It was a great session. I'm excited for the upcoming sessions. There's so many of them. However, before we go into closing or your final thoughts, let me share this message with them.
We hope you enjoyed this webinar. Don't forget to log in or sign up for your membership to access the online membership center, where you can see all lesson replays, download the homework, RSVP for future sessions, and much more. You can even ask for help or request a topic to our members. Are you ready to get started? Log into our website and sign up.
Yeah, so my final thought is, hey, listen, get off the sidelines. Get into the game, okay? Start focusing on trying to get your money together, finding a deal, getting knowledge, okay? Get together with people that can help you learn the business, okay? It's not rocket science. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not rocket science, okay? And there's a lot of people that have done this, that have blazed the path, and there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you. We're willing to help you. That's what we're doing, is we're helping people. So we have a tremendous member center that if you want to join up and be one of our members, and you'll have tons of tools and information and webinars and just everything that you need at your fingertips to get started in the business, whether you're looking to flip houses, buy, fix, and sell houses, or build a rental portfolio, we're there for you guys, man. Those flipping guys, Gene and Angelo, we are totally there for you. So join in to our member section, and we'll get you rocking and rolling.
And any final thoughts?
Yeah, you guys want the secret? There's a secret. You want the secret? Work! That's the secret. Work hard. There you go.
All right, I want to thank everyone that joined us on this live session. Looking forward to seeing you again. And for those of you that are not members, let me share this message with you.
I just want to come in here and thank you for being a part of this session, getting involved and participating. We love serving you. However, if you're not a member, I recommend that you sign up now. If you really want to learn, you really want to be part of a great coaching team, and you want to take your real estate game to the next level, you definitely have to become a member. One more thing, I want to make sure you log on to our website so you can watch our online reality show. Don't miss it. A lot of information, a lot of content, and it's really good stuff. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Register online today and join us for all new interviews and topics. Only on thoseflippingguys.com.